Have you ever sat down and thought about what it'd be like if articles and stories, even poems, could be written way faster in minutes instead of hours? I mean, that future is closer than we think. And it's all thanks to artificial intelligence, AI. And it's like this growing role that AI has in content creation. I know you're not exactly thrilled about the idea of AI taking over the creative world. And honestly, I totally get it. There are some really serious questions and concerns that come up with using this kind of technology. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today in this deep dive. Our mission today is to really unpack AI's impact on content creation, especially for someone like you, who is maybe a little wary of AI and all of its potential downsides. We're going to explore the benefits. Yeah. We're also going to look at the limitations. And we'll definitely address those concerns about quality and ethics and what it means for the future of creativity. So think of this deep dive as your guide to navigating this whole AI content landscape. So let's just start with the basics. When we talk about AI-generated content, we're talking about basically anything, from blog posts to marketing emails to news reports, even music sometimes. And it's all created not by a human, but by an algorithm. These algorithms, like the one that powers ChatGPT, they learn from huge amounts of data. And they use that knowledge to generate new content based on whatever instructions they're given.
It really is incredible just how fast this technology is evolving. We're already seeing AI being used to create so many different types of content. I mean, you mentioned marketing materials, but it goes way beyond that. We're even seeing scripts for movies and TV shows being written with AI. But I think the key here, and it's something I can't emphasize enough, is that AI is meant to be a tool. It's supposed to enhance and augment human creativity, not replace it entirely.
Yeah, I was reading somewhere that tools like Jasper can actually write entire articles in minutes, all based on just a few keywords. I mean, that's kind of mind-blowing. No more staring at a blank page, no more late nights trying to hit a deadline.
Right. It's amazing. And the potential for speed and efficiency is undeniable. I mean, imagine a world where you could clear your entire content calendar, but it only takes you a fraction of the time it takes you now. And for businesses, this could really be a game changer, especially when you think about streamlining workflow and even saving costs.
Okay, but here's where I get a little skeptical. If AI is churning out all this content so quickly, what about quality? Can an algorithm really capture the nuance and the depth
Yeah,
of human expression?
that's a really important question. And it brings us to a really crucial point. AI output is only ever as good as its input. It's kind of like that old saying, garbage in, garbage out, you know? The content that AI generates completely depends on what data it was trained on and the instructions that it's given. In fields like law or medicine, where accuracy and expertise are so important, human oversight is still absolutely essential.
So you're saying I shouldn't trust an AI to write up my legal contracts?
Yeah.
Or diagnose my illness?
Probably not the best idea. And that actually highlights a key limitation of AI. It struggles with things like nuance, emotional intelligence, and cultural context. It can produce grammatically perfect sentences and even mimic certain writing styles, but it can't replicate the depth of human experience or the creativity that comes from lived experiences.
That is reassuring to hear. But it also brings up some interesting questions about the line between human creativity and AI-generated content. So let's dive a little deeper into those ethical considerations.
Absolutely. That's where things get really complex. The legal landscape around AI-generated content is still evolving, and there are a lot of unanswered questions, like who actually owns the copyright to AI-generated work? Is it the developer, the user who gave the prompts, or someone else entirely?
And what's stopping someone from taking AI content and just saying it's their own? I mean, couldn't this lead to a ton of low-quality content,
Yeah,
plagiarism, even misinformation?
all valid concerns, and we really need to consider them seriously as AI keeps getting better and better. It really is a double-edged sword. On the one hand, AI has this incredible potential to completely revolutionize how we create and consume content. But on the other hand, we need to be mindful of how it could be misused and all of the ethical implications.
Yeah, and that's exactly why it's so important that we talk about this stuff. It's easy to get caught up in all the what ifs and the potential downsides. But we shouldn't lose sight of the incredible creative potential that AI has. I mean, we're not just talking about writing blog posts or ad copy here. AI is being used to compose music, create visual art, even write poetry.
I have to admit that part is really fascinating to me. I saw some AI-generated artwork a while back, and I was honestly blown away. Like, it was so realistic and detailed. There are even tools out there that can make original music in different styles. It almost feels like AI is tapping into some hidden wellspring of creativity. It definitely is pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible. But there's a really important distinction here that we need to make. AI is really good at mimicking style. It can look at huge data sets of art or music or literature and then reproduce all those patterns and techniques with crazy accuracy. Like it can create a painting in the style of Van Gogh or a symphony that sounds like Beethoven.
But that's different from actual artistic expression, right? I mean,
Yeah,
AI can't feel emotions the way that we do. It can't pour its heart and soul into art.
exactly. While AI can replicate the outward form, it doesn't have that inner life, the lived experience that fuels real artistic creation. And that's where we come in, the human element. AI can be an incredible tool for inspiration, for brainstorming, for getting past creative blocks, but it's up to us, the human artists, to infuse those creations with meaning and emotion.
So maybe instead of seeing AI as this threat to creativity, we should think about it as like a partner, a collaborator in the creative process.
Exactly. Imagine AI helping you overcome writer's block by suggesting different plot twists or character arcs for your novel. Or what if it could generate a musical score? That perfectly matched the mood and tone of your film.
That would be incredible. It would free us from some of the more technical and time-consuming parts of the creative process.
Yeah.
And we could focus on the heart of it, the story we want to tell, the emotions we want to bring to life.
Right. And that brings us back to the potential of AI in content creation as a whole. We talked about speed and efficiency,
Yeah.
quality concerns, the ethical stuff. But what about the impact on the content itself? How will AI change the way we read and watch and listen?
One thing that I find really interesting is this potential for like hyper-personalization. I've heard people talking about a future where every single piece of content that we see, news articles, books, movies, it's all tailored specifically to our interests, our learning styles, even our mood.
It's a really exciting possibility. Think about it. AI could create a custom newsfeed for you. That filters out all the noise and only shows you stories that you care about. It could generate educational materials that adapt to how fast you learn and make sure you actually understand something before moving on.
Wow, that would be a game changer, especially in education. No more trying to find the useful information in a mountain of stuff you don't care about. No more struggling to keep up with a curriculum that's not designed for you.
It would be like having a personal tutor for every subject. And imagine what it could do for entertainment. AI could make movies or TV shows with branching storylines. That change based on your choices. You'd be an active part of the story. And it can make music that evolves in real time based on how you're feeling. You'd get a truly immersive and personalized experience.
That sounds incredible. But it also makes me wonder, with all this talk about personalization and algorithms choosing our content, are we in danger of getting trapped in echo chambers? Could this limit our exposure to new ideas and different perspectives?
That's a great point. And it shows how important it is to be aware of the potential downsides of this technology. We have to use AI responsibly and carefully and make sure it doesn't accidentally narrow our worldview or reinforce biases that are already out there.
Yeah, it really is a balancing act. On the one hand, we have this potential for incredible advancements in how we create and consume content. But on the other, there are these legitimate concerns about ethics and potential downsides.
Yeah, it's a great way to put it. It's a tightrope walk. And that's why it's so important to approach AI with both excitement and caution. We need to be having these discussions, exploring both the possibilities and the pitfalls, so we can make sure this technology is actually benefiting us.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. Speed and efficiency of AI content, quality and ethical concerns, and even the potential for hyper-personalization. But I think it all comes down to this one question. What does this mean for creativity? Are we heading toward a world where robots are writing all our books and music?
I don't think so. Actually, I think the opposite is true. I think AI has the potential to unlock even more human creativity.
How so?
Well, think about it this way. If AI can take care of the technical and repetitive parts of creating something, it frees us up, the human artists, writers, and musicians, to focus on the things that make us human. Our unique perspectives, our emotions, our ability to connect with people through stories.
So instead of replacing human creativity, it could actually enhance it.
Exactly. It's about finding that balance, that partnership between human ingenuity and artificial intelligence.
So for our listeners out there who are still maybe a bit unsure about AI, what would you say to them?
I'd say embrace the possibilities, but don't be afraid to ask the tough questions. Stay informed, keep learning, and let's work together to make sure AI is making our lives better.
That's a great point, and a great way to wrap things up. If AI can handle the technical stuff, what new creative things can we explore? What stories can we tell? What worlds can we build when the only limit is our own imagination? That's something to think about as we move into this new era, this exciting and maybe even a little bit daunting era of AI-powered content creation